So this is Gravelly Hill Interchange, or as most of you know it, Spaghetti Junction. But not from a perspective that many of you will have seen it from before. I'm on the Tame Valley Canal, just done the 13 Perry Bar locks, previously did the 9 on the Rushall Canal, and once I get through what we call Salford Junction, which is where this canal meets the start of the Birmingham and Paisley Canal, which is where I'm going. It also meets, sorry, it's not the start of the Birmingham and Paisley, kind of joins at the junction with the Birmingham and Paisley Canal, and also the very, very top of the Grand Union Canal. So the Grand Union that comes all the way from London basically comes down Camp Hill Locks and then goes up a small flight, down a small flight to end up here. And the Birmingham Paisley basically does a turn at this point up the Aston flight and then the Farmers Bridge flight to end up in Birmingham. So you can see from the canal perspective, you've got this 18th century technology totally covered in mainly road bridges. I think there's the odd rail one in there. That's the M6 that lorry's on, I think, if I remember correctly. Gets a bit confusing as to which one's which. But yeah, here we are down in the bowels of it. As you can imagine, it's not the sort of place you really want to stop. But it's a very intriguing place to come through. It's a bit of an interesting one with Birmingham because there are very few sensible places to moor in the centre. There's Gas Street Basin, and you can't moor there at the moment because of the Tory Party conference. Or you can't moor from tomorrow, I can't remember which day it is. In fact, you can't even go through. So again, Birmingham, Venice of the North, except when the Tories are in town. I seem to remember the Labour Party conference, they actually allowed it, but then that's kind of irrelevant these days anyway. We're going, when do we get to the junction? There's all these little bridges, there were all these arms off. Yeah, so I think that is the M6 that goes through the middle, and then if I remember rightly, you've got the Aston Expressway comes out and joins it. So that's one of the ones going through. Maybe the M6 is the one straight above me. I really would have to look at a map, and I'm dodging all these concrete pillars, so I'd rather not hit those with 23 tons of narrowboat. So I'm not going to look at the map and tell you which is which. But you might like to check it out yourselves and have a look. Sorry, Mr. Budley, I didn't listen to smack into you. So yeah, I don't know where everyone else the people who moor in the centre of Birmingham tend to moor in little arms, effectively small marinas, rather than on line. And roaring through straight above. It is all quite amusing. I think before I get to the actual junction, I might put the video down. Got to go through that narrow bit there. I think what I'm going to do in a moment is just slacken my speed off slightly. I'm probably going fast enough to warrant a water skier at the moment. But then there's not exactly much wildlife on the banks of this particular bit of canal. Hello, skylight. So you see in the middle there's a little island which I can go either side of. I haven't seen another boat all day, but I'm going to slow down to go through the interchange itself. So if I remember rightly, that one up there is the M6. Let's take a little bit of speed off. Control of the tiller again. It's pulling one way, which suggests I might have something on the prop. But sometimes you just have to stop, let the boat sort itself out again. I can go either side of this, can't I? I've never approached it from this. I've never done this little bit before. I think this one is probably slightly narrower than the other side, but in the interest of sticking to the right, we'll stay here. Chuck a few more revs on. Might have to have a look when I get to the first of the Minworth locks to see if I'm dragging something behind me. There has been a ridiculous amount of weed and so on in the canal. A little bit reverse might do the trick, but I'm not putting reverse through here because the last thing I want through here is to pick up something on the prop, and the easiest way to do that is to go into reverse and then forward again. As I learned with the tyre under Fenny-Compton Bridge. So this is the actual canal interchange itself. Got a bit more speed on now. I also don't want anyone coming out in front of me, so shoot on the air horn. Should preclude that. Right, the tiller's behaving a bit more normally now. So as you can see, the Tame Valley carries on straight into the Birmingham and Fazeley, which is why I was thinking the Birmingham and Fazeley stopped, but no, of course it doesn't. So here, that goes to the city centre. That's the Birmingham and Fazeley, across a little aqueduct there. Signpost, Gas Street Basin, 3.5 miles and 24 locks. Now today I've done 22 so far, and that just up there is actually Star City, where you can moor. So if I'd got here too late, I'd have gone and see if there was some space up there, but yeah, as far as the canal's concerned, that's the junction done. And now I'm on my way to Minworth and Curdworth. Evening. Yeah, and that's kind of Spaghetti Junction done from the point of view of those of you who prefer that mode of travel. Oh, come on, that's not fair. We all have to use that mode of transport sometimes, although I'd rather 2 wheels than 4. But yeah, I hope that was a vaguely informative one of my ramblings. Ta-ra.